today I just wanted to give a few examples and explanations on how I made the parts to my Princess Peach cosplay. So let's start. Alright, so first I want to show the earrings. Now these are magnetic earrings, and I made them, the base is a ping pong ball and it's painted with blue spray paint, and then I put resin over it, but you don't have to do that, you can just use a clear coat if you want. But I find the resin helps hold the magnet a little better. And here's what the magnets look like. And I will be honest, if your ears aren't pierced like mine aren't, and you decide to use magnets, they do hurt a little bit. So I will warn you on that. But if you have your ears pierced, you can just make them so that you can use them like that. So that's how I made the earrings. And the crown, the base of this is made from craft foam, and then I used clay for around this part, around the jewels. And the jewels are there are those glass stones that you can get to put in vases. You can find them at the Dollar Tree, and if you can't find them in the right color, you can just use a permanent marker to color the back of it. Like these, I believe, were clear, and I colored with a red permanent marker on the back to make it red. And I think I did the same thing with these with the blue. And then this right here is a puffy paint for the part that connects. Like right there, that right there is a puffy paint. And I used gold spray paint for this, and then I used a clear coat over that, and it's layered foam, as you can see right there. And I put a little bit of hot glue right here just to kind of smooth it out a little bit, and a lot of it's held together with hot glue, so hot glue and foam is what the majority of this is. And this part right here, this is just foam. It's used to hold on, it's used to put it onto the wig. What I do is I use the X here, the foam X here, to put bobby pins into the wig. It just helps hold it on. You just put it on like this and stick the bobby pins down in there. So I hope that makes sense. So that's how I made the crown. And the brooch, I used the same magnets I used for the earrings I used on the brooch, and I believe to hold on the magnets for this I used E6000 glue. I'll show a picture of that here. And this is clay around it, and this is just a wooden discs at the craft store, and I just painted it gold, and then I put the clay around this part, which this part right here is one of those clear Christmas tree bulbs you can get that you decorate. So they're just the plain clear ones you can get from a craft store, and they come so that you can separate it so that there's two halves. So I used one of the halves for the brooch, and I just painted the inside blue. This is just the Christmas bulb, half a Christmas bulb, clay, magnets, and the wooden base, and some paint. So that's how I made the brooch. And as for the gloves, I decided just to, because I wanted to get it done in my time frame, I decided to just buy a pair of these opera gloves. And I believe I got them on Amazon or eBay. I can't remember exactly where. So yeah, I just bought these online. But if you want to know how to make gloves on your own, I will link a video, a really good video tutorial down below, and you can just check that out for how to make the gloves. And the next thing is the wig. So the wig I got on eBay. Now I am planning on buying a new wig for this soon. Oops, this got caught in my necklace. Yeah, I'm planning on buying a new wig for Princess Peach soon, one that's a little bit thicker and fuller. So, but this is the one that I have right now. I got it on eBay. I keep it in a braid to keep it from tangling so much in storage. So I just keep it in that braid and I put it up in that, in the head part. And then I stick it into this net that it came with and then back into the plastic bag for storage. And eBay's a really good place to get wigs, but if you have a bigger head and a lot of hair like me, then I would suggest getting them more from Arda Wigs, or finding on Etsy ones where they have the circumference size and how far it can stretch, just because it's a lot less frustrating. You can still get really good wigs on eBay, but it's sometimes hit or miss. So that's just a quick warning. So I would suggest just making sure you can tell what the size is of the wig, how far it can stretch to fit a head, and just so it's just a warning from my own experience. And that brings us to notes here. First I want to show, okay, for the skirts, I'm going to start by showing what I have underneath of it. So for the under part, I use a hoop skirt. This thing's massive. So I use this hoop skirt for the underneath the dress to give it the poof that she has in her dress. And I got this on eBay. And for the dress itself, I have an underskirt made here. So this is the underskirt. And I made this using a circle skirt pattern that I made. I'll link a tutorial down below where you can find out how to make a circle skirt if you don't know how. So the pattern that I used to make my circle skirt for Peach was this one right here. Now I just made this with some of this packing paper for shipping stuff. That's how I made this pattern. And it's just like that. So that's my circle skirt pattern. And like I said, I made it from packing paper that you can add in shipping and those kinds of things. And that is for a full circle skirt. Although I did have an old one that I had the measurements down for a shorter one too, so you can add that to it. Because I did that with the bottom of this dress. The bottom of this dress was made with a circle skirt pattern that I drafted as well. And the only difference is this one's a short circle skirt, whereas this one is a full circle skirt. So that's how I made the bottom of this, and then I sewed it into the bodice. And the bodice, it's got the zipper in the back, and then it's got a scalloped collar. And the pattern that I used to make this bodice was this pattern for Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. I will show what pattern it was right here. So that is the pattern that I used to make this. I had to change a few things though, such as this doesn't have the band where it is. Instead it's got elastic in the sleeves. And I took the collar from the pattern and I scalloped it because Princess Peach, she has a scalloped collar, so I had to take just the plain collar that just goes straight across, and I had to scallop it. And then to hold the poof in the sleeves, I have tulle in the sleeves, so if you want to add some extra poof into your cosplay sleeves or just into your sleeves in general, just stick some tulle in there and you can get that poof that you really want. So that's how I made this part. And I liked using the underskirt so that you could separate it, because then you can use this for other Princess Peach cosplays if you wanted. Such as her one sports outfit, the classic sports outfit. You can alter that a little bit to make it into that, so you can use it for two different things. Oh yeah, and this is an elastic waistband, so there's a zipper on there. And that brings us to the sash. Now the sash, so the sash is the part that goes around, And I can't recall exactly what pattern I used for this. Well, you can find a sash pattern, it shouldn't be that hard. An example one I'll put right here. And you can make it so that it's longer and that it ties in a bow in the back. But how I did mine is I used the sewing snaps to snap it together in the back, because I didn't want the bow because she didn't have the bow in the game, but I think it's a beautiful addition, so if you use a bow, go for it. I just didn't want to use one. So I used these snaps on the back to hold it in place, and that's how I made this. And the fabric that I used for these, for the whole entire dress, I used Casa Satin. It's from Joann's. So this is a Casa Satin, and this is a Casa Satin, so it's all Casa Satin. It's a really beautiful fabric. It's not too shiny, it photographs well, it's a great fabric, so I highly recommend it. And that is how I made most of my Princess Peach cosplay. And if you have any questions that I didn't answer or that you didn't understand, just let me know down below and I will answer those for you as clearly as I can. So, see you in the comments and have a nice day. Thanks for watching.